Good evening, Vibe Tribe. Reiki Reverend here with a community answer post that's kind of a blog video post and a bit more. Tonight I'll be talking about psychic shielding with all kinds of shields. Energy shields, mirror shields, bubble shields, spell shields, third eye shields, all that. And I'll also be covering how to use those shields at any time. Now, I will be reading from my article that's on ReikiReverend.com. I'll also be going a little bit deeper than what is on the article, so stay tuned. Are you or someone you know having difficulties with things that might be a little bit outside of what they normally work with or see in this world? Do you feel like you're the type of spiritual channel that is constantly being contacted by spirits for various reasons? Whether that be to say hi, to warn you, to make you a little nervous, to make you fearful, to do all kinds of crazy stuff. I've had, trust me, too many different experiences. You might understand how important it is, if you've had any of these things, to have a tool like shielding to protect yourself and others. But for those who are especially affected by energy or sensitive to energy, spiritual attacks, or just spirits in general, shielding has probably been the most game-changing spiritual ability that I've developed in my time. When I talk about an energetic shield or an energy shield, I'm talking about a projection of energy that extends from the aura like a bubble in some way that is manifested, willed, or created with a protective purpose. This could be in the lightest of ways, from just a visualization to a detailed energetic ward that has been meticulously crafted to enact a certain intention. That all said, I want to just take a step back and give you a bit of history. When I was all through high school, all through college, and a little bit of my military career even, I would be added by a lot of different spirits. It was anywhere between fun to complicated to messy. I'm using high school as a personal slice just to kind of give it a nice breath of life, but honestly, it's something I've been dealing with for quite some time. The high school years were like the hardest, and the times after or during the military were the most detrimental. These interactions can vary a lot between just common stance interactions, like pokes, prods, things like that, where a spirit might nudge you and say, hey, look over here. Or it could be something massive, like a darkened presence in your space, knowing that something is completely off and wrong, but not exactly having that capability to see it. I was one of those. I don't know if you have the sight. I don't have the sight. I can visualize mentally, and I receive energy that the energy I take in through my sensitivities allows me to conceptualize what certain spirits may see themselves as, or what I can visualize or understand a spirit as, but I don't actually have the sight to where I can see things across the room, or I can see things in a picture. But still, yet so, these spirits were very real to me, and because of that, I had to find a way to protect myself. It took all through that time for me to finally get to a point where, when my high priestess friend said, you need to learn shielding, I was ready to listen. And ironically enough, I kind of knew already what I was doing, and I'm about to share it with you right now. When you think about a prayer of protection, the layer of faith built shielding can become an energetic layer of protection. It's almost like a suit of armor. Some people refer to it as like a an armor of God or the will of God to protect you in one sense. In another sense, it is your own inherent desire to be protected, your feelings of safety, of comfort. That's when we start getting the more like root chakra stuff, right? So it could really come down to a lot of different factors, how you naturally protect yourself. But what I'm talking about here is inherent protection that you have governed yourself through will or through act. So a prayer of protection can work kind of like a shield. It is an intention-based construct of energy that is programmed with the intention of protecting you. It is granted or understood to have the capacity or the workings of whatever type of energy you put into it. At that point, it is what you make of it. A prayer of protection could be anywhere between prayer from on high to prayer from inside to prayer from fire, prayer from water. It doesn't matter necessarily, as long as you have that intention squared in your mind that that protection is there because you want it to be there. And it exists. It is rock solid. It's not something that could be easily broken, swayed, or tempted. My problem when I was growing up is that I wanted to interact with spirit so bad I was willing to open myself up. And that wasn't bad because of me isms. I guess the easiest way to say, I didn't end up going through some like horrid experiences like some other people do, unfortunately. But I had my own gamut of experiences where I'd walk into a room and notice that there was a spirit. I'd feel the presence, and then next thing I know, I'm in conflict. Or I would be resting, woken up. One time I woke up in sleep paralysis from a psychic attack, and I literally couldn't do anything. I just laid there and waited. I thought I was dead. Things like that. Sometimes it goes even like layers higher than that, right? Because some people can be angry at you, some people can be upset with you, and they'll push their intentions, their will of emotions on you. How dare you? Oh my gosh, I can't believe you. I'm so angry at you. And when these things are projected, they are at that point pushed out towards you. And when you receive them, that is kind of however you deal with it at that point. If you are an empath, like some people like me, you might end up feeling what that other person's feeling, that anger, that energy. Then it gets transferred or transmuted in some type of way. So you could either start feeling angry yourself, you could start reflecting on moments that you feel angry, you could carry that anger in you and start thinking about your own reasons for feeling angry. And it may not even be because of them, it might have just triggered the anger within you that's been sleeping for some reason. Or it could just make you feel really upset. Maybe you're not that type of person who goes to a place of anger or a place of discontent. Maybe you are the type of person who feels more capable of like pushing out anger. You push away anger, so you don't go to that place of anger, but you go to a place that is of a similar vibration. So then we're talking about lower ranging emotions like depression, sadness, ick, things like that. All of these things can affect you. So we're talking about anywhere between psychic attacks where like your will is being messed with, your ability to work on self is being messed with, your capacity to understand your emotions, to seek resolution within yourself is being messed with. You're getting penetrating thoughts, penetrating emotions, changes to your awareness that aren't for the better but are for the worse. It's almost like the opposite of awakening or the opposite of spiritual evolution. At that point, it's kind of like trying to put you in a can and just kind of kick you around, whatever it is. It can be anywhere between a harmful, malicious spirit to that person who insulted you days ago. Maybe they just want your job. Sometimes it's just like that. So the same thoughts, visualizations, or even gestures can be used in a prayer with a protective intention or purpose. About the same way that those thoughts, visualizations, or gestures, or even just actions, let's just call it actions, that people can project when they have an intention. or a purpose. So if they're angry or they're upset, they're projecting that. It's just the same as you could feel pensive, defensive, protective. You can project those too. So just the same as those energies and emotions and all these other things can hurt you, you can transmute that and allow for it to start working for you. It's just not something that we think of commonly when we're in the middle of it. And that's why psychic protection is super important, because if you're not focused, mindful of the ways that you can conceptualize that type of response, then it can be detrimental. Though the situation can be too detrimental for you to be able to align your focus in that way. You have to seek balance first, or you may shield and then seek balance and then be able to heal yourself or work through the rest of those emotions after that point. It's almost like you went into a protective barrier, you went into your shield, your fortress of solitude, and then you're able to meditate, calm down, and relax, align with a positive intention or purpose. This type of spiritual protection that I'm talking about, when you project outwards, it's like a barrier. It's a part of your connection as well with your higher power or higher self sometimes. Other times it's just an adamant affection of your intention. It's a place, it's a position of your emotional plane, a position of your mental plane, a position of your spiritual plane that's pushed out. I am feeling this place of protection within myself, and so I allow it to be pushed out, to be known in some way, shape, or form. The type of spiritual, in most cases, there is no right or wrong way to call out this protection. You just got to connect with it in your own way and like ask yourself, ask spirit, ask the angels, ask God, ask higher power, ask any other divine being that you choose to work with. Any of these things can be used for protection. What you experience personally while working with shielding can vary. Allowing for your experience to speak for itself, trusting in yourself and that experience, as well as putting your faith in what can work best, is your number one absolute best case scenario. Because if you lack these things, then it will show in your intention, it will show in your energy. It's like chips in your armor, right? Those a bit more open or connected might go in a little bit more detailed. They might visualize like a coat of armor or a projection of light that surrounds their bodies. They may actually just work through it in another way, and I'll talk about a little bit more a few other detailed ways as well. The advanced practitioner may see things a bit differently. But this isn't to say that you can't practice these techniques. It's more just to say that once you've learned the basics of I close my eyes and I visualize a bubble, once you project that bubble, nothing can hurt me. Or you project mist surrounding your body that covers and protects you from all other forms of harm, all other forms of emotional dystrophy. Nothing can find you within the mist. If you want to go a little bit more rudimentary, you could simply just say, I have this shield, it's right here. Or you can, this is a good protective stance as well. Some people, I can't remember the background for this, but this has a really strong history as a protective symbol, or a mantra, not really a mudra for protection, but it is a gesture of protection, a protective gesture. So it really just depends on how you have developed as a person and how you're able to shape that. When you think about what your idea of a shield will look or feel like, making one becomes a lot easier. Sometimes that creative visualization really helps. Sometimes having that prayer of intention really helps. Sometimes vocalizing it helps. Sometimes putting on your favorite song when you feel like you're on top of the world, or you feel awesome, or you feel protected, where you feel like you can do anything and nothing can touch you. Sometimes that is the best form of shielding too. You ever just go into a room, blare your music up, and just tell the world to go somewhere? About the same thing. Is it the same as speaking a prayer or putting your favorite hat on? Both are functionally optional. It really just depends on how you feel about the energy, how you allow for those protective gestures to work. You can have a shield embodied on your watch. You can have a shield put into your glasses. You can have a shield put anywhere. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is your intention and how you feel about what you are doing. The process of shielding with energy starts and operates from within. So I'm going to explain a bit of a guided method that you can try in a calm mental space. So what you can try doing right now, even as long as you're not driving or anything, sit calmly for a few moments and think about why you want protection, what your needs are. Do your best to think of them in relation, idea, or even energy or essence. How do you feel when you're protected? How do you feel about the things you want protection from? And why do you want protection now? Do you have a need to be protected from harm? Does this need involve a will or a desire to reject what is sent to harm you? Who would you ask, if anyone, to help when you need protection? And if not who, then what would you want to defend yourself with? Once you've gathered those intentions, it's time to give them a way to exist or form. Let your breathing flow freely, like the air in the room, in the car, in the space. Hopefully you're, at this point, not driving, but sitting if you're in a car. The idea is that you think of your desires or intentions from protection from earlier. And as you remember those feelings, desires or intentions for protection, you allow them to draw from you as you rise the energies up. So as you're breathing out, as you're expressing energy, as you're thinking about that protection, let those sensations happen. Feel the protection. Allow it to be there with you. Firmly hold these sensations or thoughts within your mind as you breathe, as you meditate. Now let these sensations or thoughts begin to flow within the air around you. It is a part of you that is extending outward, or a part of your space that now exists outside of you. After a few deep breaths, take one final breath in slowly and allow for that thought of being protected to settle in. At this point, if you want to visualize a bubble blowing up around you, full of your intentions, visualize, sense, or intend this bubble to form around your body however you'd like. Your new bubble shield can exist for as long as you may allow it to. If you choose to focus on reflection instead, visualize a mirror coat around that bubble, or a mirror coat around your aura, around your space, to reflect those undesired energies or connections. The amount of energy you place towards your shield can never drain you completely, but it is more effective when the body and mind are rested at peace, when you're able to exhume or share the energy of peace, of protection, with your space as well. This bubble is of your energy or of divine energy, or even of the energy you call from the space around you. It cannot hurt you. It is a safe space for as long as your thoughts and will are able to maintain it. It doesn't have to be focused. You can let it go. Visualize it staying with you for as long as you need, replenishing itself. Once you feel this protection with you, allow it to continue being with you. And if you ever have any other need for advice or want to draw on this again, feel free to rewatch this video or check out my blog on reikireverend.com. If you want to learn personally how you can develop some of these skills for yourself, I offer spiritual life coaching. If you have a need for healing or removal of any harmful energies in your space, I also channel Reiki. I work with different types of energy healing, and I would be happy to help you. As always, if you have any questions, or you just want to tell people about your experience today, please do so in the comments below and let me know just what you think of this video. Like and subscribe as you vibe. Thank you for being a part of my day.